Many cities in China had been important porcelain production regions in the long history of Chinese ceramics. But no other cities except Jingdezhen could best represent Chinese porcelain industry in terms of product diversity, techniques maturity and industry system integrity. There is a sophisticated system for traditional porcelain production in Jingdezhen, known as 72 procedures, which are required for clay to be transformed into porcelain. In fact, these procedures mainly fall into four major stages: material processing, hand forming, decoration, and firing. Among all sorts of materials, China stone is the most important. The rock-like stone becomes magically plastic when mixed with water after being smashed and processed, making it a chief material for making porcelain body. It is a composite of mineral aggregates and consists of quartz, cerussite, kaolinite, feldspar, carbonate and other minerals. These elements are well balanced, which provides all the technological properties required for making porcelain. Sanbao village, located in the southern suburb of Jingdezhen, preserves rich forest and water resources and abundant China stones. Over the centuries, it has always been an important mine for exploiting and processing China stone. That is why traditional methods for processing China stone have been preserved here. Water-powered trip hammer is one of the inventions that fully reflect the wisdom of the ancient Chinese potters. It applies water power to drive iron hammers to smash China stone into powder. This not only liberates manpower, but also creates clay with rhombic molecular that is difficult to obtain even with modern technology. This kind of clay features strong plasticity, and porcelain produced with it is tougher and more durable. The mined China stones need to be washed repeatedly in water first to remove unwanted soil and dirt on their surfaces. Before being smashed by the water-powered trip hammer. After about 24 hours, these small stones are smashed into fine powder. Then the powder shall be put into the stirring pool filled with water. With repeated stirrings, the crude particles in the powder would sink into the bottom of the pool. While the slurry is transferred to the water pool through a filter. the remaining particles in the stirring pool are removed from the pool and placed next to the trip hammer for further smashing together with newly mined china stone. Water in the slurry would be gradually vaporized in the water pool. When there is little water left in the slurry, it would be transferred to the stirring pool through a pipe. The slurry in the water pool is then transferred to the drying pool for drying. When the slurry is half dry, it would be scooped to the ground nearby for further drying. When the slurry is ready for modeling, it would be molded into brick-shaped batons, which in turn would be put onto shelves for natural drying before they could be used for making greenware. This is Kaolin village of Jingdezhen, the place where Kaolin was first found and named. More than 700 years ago, the Kaolin discovered here led to a dramatic change to Chinese porcelain, making Jingdezhen the epicenter of Chinese ceramic industry. Kaolin is a kind of white clay. The proportion of aluminum oxide in Kaolin could reach as high as 35%, which helps to raise the firing temperature, enhance porcelain strength and decrease the deformation rate. Therefore, it is vital for making quality porcelains, similar to China stone. Kaolin also needs to be smashed, refined, deposited and dried before being made into Kaolin batons. China stone batons and Kaolin batons would be mixed according to a certain proportion to produce clay needed for hand forming. Today, Kaolin is a beautiful and serene village, but it used to be a prosperous village with businessmen, potters and porters coming and going. The Kaolin mine was gathered here to be shipped to porcelain workshops along the Chang River of Jingdezhen. Nowadays, only the grooves in the blue flagstone pavement can remind people of the village's bygone vitality. The compounding of glaze involves many ingredients like fern ash, China stone, Kaolin and metallic oxide according to specific requirements. A sample would be fired to display color effects for each compounding. In the past, potters would grind ingredients manually. Nowadays, all the ingredients are put into a jar with many small porcelain balls inside. The jar is then put on a machine with rotating gears so that ingredients can be stirred and ground into powder. This is a liberation of manual labor. The powder is then mixed with water for sedimentation and fermentation, and then it is turned into glaze slurry finally.